Let's chat about everybody's favorite part of the show where we deep dive into a book or not a book in this case. Let's talk about Twilight of the Superheroes. So, for those of you who are unaware, Twilight of the Superheroes is Alan Moore's would-be DC event that aimed to establish an endpoint for DC canon. It first surfaced around 1995 as a pitch document and has been the subject of debate, scrutiny, and controversy ever since. This is part 6 of our deep dive into Alan Moore's Twilight of the Superheroes, the greatest comic story never told. So, last week, where we left off, there was a great big war, and we saw the Houses of Thunder, we saw the Houses of Steel, we saw the Houses of Titan, Secrets, Justice, so many battle. We saw Constantine's plan start to take shape, and now we understand well, not quite exactly, but sort of where he's going. And we still have some questions about exactly what Constantine wanted with the old man that we discussed and what the fate of Twilight is. So here we go. The greatest protector the Earth has ever known has fallen. Superman is dead at the hands of the ultimate Sodom Yat, leaving the planet to be ruled by the combined alien forces. Is this what Constantine envisioned? Earth dominated by yet another set of superpowered individuals? Just before the Horde can begin relishing their victory, a small army of non-power leap into action. Batman's secret cabal, John Constantine and his recruits from the barrio, the Blackhawks, all rising up as humanity takes its last stand. So, all adorned in vibrant, powerful, golden armor, granting them immunity to the otherwise omnipotent Green Lantern power rings. Gold's cruel fate gives humanity a fighting chance. As the two sides reach a standstill, Hal Jordan points out that the alien horde will never relent. They will stop coming through the Zeta Beam until humans stop resisting and accept their new masters. Humans are a crafty set, though, and none among them are as crafty as John Constantine. His big play doesn't end in a fist fight. That's not his style. He has one more trick up his sleeve. The Mobius chair.
What the fuck?
Constantine spent weeks, maybe more, searching the barrio for an old man. But not just any old man. Metron in disguise. Banished to Earth for sacrificing his morality in search of knowledge, he is forced to live out his life as an ordinary man with no inherent ability to impact Earth's current predicament. All Constantine needed was the chair. As he now explains to the alien invaders with a sly grin on his face, Constantine used the Mobius chair to go to the antimatter universe of Quard. He traded the secrets of the boom tube technology to them for the promise that Earth would be safe from the inevitable invasions the Quardians will ignite across the galaxy with this knowledge. Constantine informs them that right now, as they stand on this battlefield listening to his words, their homeworlds are being invaded by the infinite army of the Quard, led by the Anti-Monitor. The alien warriors they think are chomping at the bit to cross the Zeta Beam and join this fray on Earth are actually engulfed in fights on their own planets that may take centuries to win, should they even be able to win at all. Stunned and horrified by Constantine's revelation, realizing just how badly they had been played, the aliens immediately retreat to their respective homelands, should there even be homes to return to and fight for. The future of humanity is in the hands of human beings. Under the guidance of Batman, the Shadow, and others, they would once again be able to chart their own futures. All super people banished from Earth forever. Constantine pulls out his lighter and a cigarette, holds it to his lips, and smiles as he lights it, knowing that his little games and manipulating the world, and that a shot at a genuine utopia was possible for humanity. Now we flash back to a similarly sly grin on his face, cigarette in hand, as Zatanna frustratingly storms away from a confrontation with him, yelling that someday he'll meet somebody slicker than him and he'll find himself in a mess. To which he replies, "Baby, there ain't nobody smarter than me."
Uh-oh.
We flash a short time forward now, and John speaks to Rip Hunter, exasperated and confused by the fact that so many of the heroes he warned about the future hadn't heeded his words. Now, well, he thinks Rip told him about the hot blonde he meets at a bar and goes on to be very happy with. Can't be all bad, right? Rip hands John a letter from his future self. Quote, "Dear John," the letter begins, and John reads as his older self apologizes for manipulating him so cynically. Manipulated? Future John remembers meeting Rip Hunter. He remembers being conscripted for this mission. That despite his best efforts to the contrary, Twilight unfolded all the same. He apologizes once again, but reminds his younger self that love awaits and things really do get better eventually. John's been played. He was forced on this mission by his future self, a fruitless mission that would inevitably result in the same outcome. But he doesn't know everything about the way that things end. Furiously, John heads to the nearest bar and proceeds to get sloshed, his head circling around a desire for a revenge unattainable and to grips with the fact that he was played by himself. "Excuse me, have you got a light?" John hears these words and looks up to see a beautiful woman standing before him, a woman he knows he could fall in love with and spend the rest of his years in bliss with. However, his hatred for his future self outweighing his love for his current self, he makes the only choice worthy of a self-righteous, cynical bastard such as he. He looks at her blankly and replies, "I don't smoke." Now, to the words of Alan Moore, he says, "And that's it. I hope you can see how it's meant to fulfill all the requirements mentioned earlier. There are opportunities for new characters to get a springboard, old characters to get a shot in the arm, and all the merchandising you can handle in terms of games and stuff, at least as I see it. The Warring Houses idea sounds ideal for a role-playing game or maybe even a video game. The overall continuity is hopefully enhanced without being damaged in any irreversible way, and I think we might get a damn good yarn out of it in the bargain. Anyway, I seem to have gone on far longer than I intended, so I better wrap this up. I'll be looking forward with interest to hearing what any of you have to say about all this when you've had the chance to read it. If any sections are incomprehensible and need clarifying, then please give me a call." I think my biggest question coming out of all this is, what the hell did people think when they read this the first time? And what were those phone calls like?
I have questions.
Please do.
What happened to Gold?
So
Gold, he got melted. He got melted in the last
melted
one.
Down.
It was melted and used for the armor that the non-powered heroes were wearing.
Oh,
remember
gotcha.
that this is
that's what I didn't register that part. Okay.
This is at a time when, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the reason why they did this. Green Lanterns were still just weak to yellow in general.
Yeah.
So because they were wearing that armor, the Lanterns could not really deal with it, which is what turns the tide in the battle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the aliens were the Thanagarians and the Iranians, right?
And the Hawks people.
They're the Thanagarians, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. I gotcha.
It just seems like it ultimately was a Constantine book. Like,
It always is, dude. With
Yeah, I
more,
guess so.
it always
Yeah.
is. He gets his
Yeah,
way. He manipulates people. Checks.
it certainly is an ending.
Yeah, honestly, I think I was into it. Even with the Billy Batson snuff film part.
Yeah, yeah.
Um not into it like that, but like
Well,
then the
All
end
right.
kind of fizzles. You know?
but I
It
mean,
feels
it's
like a
an
Tom
ending.
King ending, actually. It feels like the ending was issue 11, and the solo issue 12 was this Constantine stuff that I didn't really care about.
Well, I should say that is maybe I didn't tell the story very well. Maybe I shouldn't have framed it this way and doing this last piece of the actual story as the finale of the battle and
Epilogue.
the epilogue. Maybe that was not the way to do it.
Is that how it was pitched? Was it pitched chronologically, or was it pitched all
Yeah.
over the place?
No, the way I lay it out is the
Okay, that's not you then. That's just how the story is then.
I think though, Classy Ulysses points out that the Martian Manhunter twist was mind-boggling. I think that is like the thing.
Hmm.
Like we've been gearing up for this war on Earth the whole book pitch. The alien stuff, like that's to the side. Like they were coming after Superman. Oh, he's gone now? Great. Like Superman and his family, they were going to be the challenge, but they're gone. So,
And, it's worth pointing out that if we were reading this comic book, the battle between Superman and Sodom Yacht and the Green Lanterns would probably be one of the coolest things ever.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
in my mind, as I was reading that, I was picturing in the last episode, I was picturing what that would look like. And I gotta say that like that had to be so cool.
And at the time, it like Sodium Yacht was relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It would have felt like a wrestler, like a fan favorite wrestler getting a big push. He had like a Brock Lesnar year.
And I think the dominoes falling accordingly, seeing what Constantine was really working on, having that bang after bang after bang of revelations and reveals. I think it would have worked. I'm a little surprised at your guys' reaction, to be honest.
I think I enjoyed that. Like that wrap up, I think is pretty typical of a more story. Like you have the big conflict, and then he just has like an epilogue to say something maybe thoughtful.
Yeah.
I thought he knocked it out. Like for me,
Anti-smoking is the.
you know what? That lines up too.
I like that.
Yeah, the thing that bugs me is the Metron chair.
Yeah.
Like to me, the Deus Ex Machina of that
Yeah.
really like, boy, that stands out.
Okay, so that is one instance where if this were actually printed, it's clear to me based on having read this that Alan Moore would have seeded that stuff out. So by the time,
yeah. My issue is if they depower him, he doesn't have the chair. Like, so how does he get the chair? But again, that's a writer will write the explanation for that. So,
yeah. The general like idea is that he is stuck. He can't do anything with the chair. He can't leave Earth. He can't do anything. So I don't know how. I'm sure he would have found a way around that.
Yeah. You write it. That's how. Yeah.
Right.
I always hate the critique. It's like, well, how does this happen? I'm like, well, figure it out. You write it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Any lingering questions about the story?
So I guess Batman's team wins, right?
Yes.
The
so
humans win. Yeah.
The humans win, and now they will be able to basically restart society.
But then how do you get rid of like the superpowered people? All right, like
they're dead.
Aliens went and wrecked shit.
The alien. So I'll explain what Constantine's plan was. Constantine's plan was, I'm going to make allies with everybody, but I need Steel and Thunder specifically to lose. But in the midst of their losing, I need them to also kill the whole Justice League and the whole Titans. And then the aliens have to come and finish the strongest of the remaining players, which is what Sodom Yacht does. He kills Superman, and that's understanding. So now that happened, Constantine already knows that next those same aliens are going to have to deal with the remaining humans. But whether they win or die, they'll likely at least be able to get to a point of a standstill. Now, Constantine can reveal his endgame plot, which was the antimatter Quardians, who are, as he's talking, killing all these worlds.
Marco, it's like when we played Fortnite that one time, where we just waited and hid the entire time, getting all the good gear while everyone else killed each other, and then we won.
Well, because like my I don't remember there being parts where like let's say like Raven dies or something, right? Or like Beast Boy, like those people have powers. Are they just now like anybody that remaining that maybe would have survived? Are they just expelled?
They're dead. No
splash page. Kill them all in the background.
If they took part in this battle, they're dead. Like if you the last week or last time we did this, I talked about how like it was death after death after death, but I didn't get into the granularity of who was dying because it's not narratively interesting for me to say it constantly, but also more doesn't give details about all of the deaths. And I should also point out that anytime I said like Hal Jordan, for example, or Zatanna, those were not in Moore's version. Those are, he leaves it as like someone says. And I thought that narratively that was not interesting. The story is told, that wouldn't be the case. Zatanna was chosen because she's a former flame of Constantine. And I chose Hal Jordan just because he's the primary Green Lantern. So those were me. Just in case that affects your viewing, that's me.
Oh,
it almost feels like this is a proto Watchmen in a way. Like I can see the world existing after the fact of all of this being a very post superhero world, and that's Moore's favorite playground.
Yeah.
So this is the creation of that postmodern superhero take for the DC universe. It even writes away aliens. It's like, hey, they don't exist anymore as far as we're concerned.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
It's just Earth. It's just people. It's Tarzan. You know?
It's Tarzan, Doc Savage, and the Shadow.
Yeah.
And then also to answer Topling's question, Anti-Monitor, again, that was me. Because the Quardians because he's from the antimatter universe and has led the Quardians at that same time frame, I extrapolated to add flavor and included the Anti-Monitor. But in the actual text, it's a generic force of Quardians.
Oh.
I just didn't think that was as interesting.
It was good stuff, dude.
Thank you. We're not done with Twilight of the Superheroes because we've got one more presentation to go. And this is the one that I think people have had a lot of questions about that we haven't been able to get to, which is the real life aspect of all this. So next week, we're going to talk about why this never actually came to be, how it actually almost came to be anyway, and where. Which major comic book reporter had a lot to do with this story and almost made it possible to get this published.
Ben Urich.
Reporter
of comic book. God, okay.
Little hint. That individual may have written a story about us this week.
Okay.
His name rhymes with Itch in your Johnson.
Oh, God.
So we do have more to go. I want to answer it. Go ahead.
Are we going to get to like Alan Moore's like how this affected him as well? This not being made? I guess we don't really know much about that because he doesn't talk. But
Alan Moore had a relationship with a certain journalist that allowed for things like that.
Okay,
so we will definitely be diving into
that's where the juice is for me on.
And any questions that you might have. There are things that I know about this story that just didn't come up for whatever reason. So if you're wondering about a particular character, I might be able to answer that. Or just whatever we don't get to. If you have questions, write in. I have a backlog of questions that I couldn't answer for the sake of keeping everything, narrative. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll blow it all out next week.
I want the biopic, the Alan Moore biopic. That's it's like Air for Alan Moore. That new Jordan's movie that just came out.
That could be cool, actually.
Hell yeah.
I would like that.
Who would play more?
I want to end this conversation with a fact about Alan Moore that I bet most people don't know. And that is that Alan Moore has, on 2 occasions in his life, met John Constantine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know this one.
Did he meet Sting?
Mm-hmm.
No. He met John Constantine.
Wait, what?
Okay. So
Marco
in
wants to know
1993,
what he took so that he can go find it at Coachella later.
In 1993, Alan Moore did an interview with Wizard Magazine, that old thing. And he said that he met John Constantine 2 times. Now, these are the words of Alan Moore. One day, I was in Westminster in London. This was after we had introduced the character, and I was sitting in a sandwich bar. All of a sudden, up the stairs came John Constantine. He was wearing the trench coat, a short cut. He didn't even look exactly like Sting. He looked exactly like John Constantine. He looked at me, stared me straight in the eyes, smiled, nodded, almost conspiratorially, and then just walked off around the corner to the other part of the snack bar. I sat there and thought, should I go around that corner and see if he's really there, or should I just eat my sandwich and leave? I opted for the latter. I thought it was the safest. I'm not making any claims to anything. I'm just saying it happened. Strange little story. His second meeting with his creation was okay. Well, this
doesn't he meet him in the book at one point?
Yeah. He meets him in the book, and then years later, in another place, this is him physically actually meeting Constantine. Years later, in another place, he steps out of the dark and speaks to me. He whispers, "I'll tell you the ultimate secret of magic." And I don't want to say this word on the show, but I'm sure you'll understand what I mean. Any C word could do it.
Chap. Got it. I know how the Brits talk. Yeah. We're monetized now. We can't be.
Yeah. No, I can't do that.
Yeah. Sylv's got it. Sylv's got it on Twitch. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. That's a RuPaulism. That's not me.
Serving that.
Yeah.
Serving that.
That's funny.
Thank you guys. Oh, go ahead, Kale. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's
Kale, I want to go home. Come on.
All right. End it.
Go ahead, Kale.
Okay, no, I'm done.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate everybody that listened through this very long episode. We had a lot to do. We cut a lot too. So we've got content, things to talk about for next week as well. If you want to support the show, if you enjoyed what we did here today, if you want to get more from us, things that are not available to the YouTube or Twitch or podcast spaces, go to patreon.com/thecomicspals, where for as little as $3 a month, you can get access to our newsletter. And a whole lot more is available over there as well. We've got a totally exclusive show called Palling Around over there. You can vote in our book clubs. You get your name recognized and shouted out here on the show, as you heard at the top. So a lot of value and benefit coming from our Patreon page. And frankly, it's the best way to allow us to continue to do these things and to take things to even greater heights. So if you want to be a part of, the foundation of the Comics Pals and, really integrate yourself into our community, that's a great way to do that. Another great way to do that is to join our Discord server and come hang out with us over there.
We've had a lot of people joining lately.
A lot of people joining lately. Yeah. A lot of the names that you see in the live chat, a lot of the people whose names we mention on the show as consistent commenters are generally in our Discord server. So come be a part of that. Join the Pals community in that way as well. If you want to watch this show live, it's every Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls. You can vote for which book we should be talking about on Pals Pulls in the listener poll, which is up right now. No matter when you were listening to this, unless it's after Wednesday, it's up. So give that a look, give it a vote. For everything else, at the Comics Pals all over the place. Kale, plugs.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Comics Pals, episode 339. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at kaleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. Guys, the Pokemon bubble has popped.
What?
I think I've burned out.
Oh,
I don't think I can do it anymore, finally.
Only took how many years?
Oh, I'll come back.
Oh, sure.
I'll come back.
Oh, you mean you stopped playing for now?
Yeah. I just need a break.
You can.
The Mega Man Battle Network collection comes out
today.
I got
yesterday. I'm ready for.
It came out yesterday. Okay,
yeah,
I'm not
really?
that behind then.
Never played that.
Oh, Sean, that's so good.
Yeah.
As a Mega Man fan, I think you'd enjoy it.
Mega Man.
You're probably right. I am obsessed with Mega Man,
and it has like
it's not the same system though,
but it does have like a card game sort of feel to it.
Yeah.
Like Chain of Memories.
Yeah. The chip like the chip usage.
Yeah.
I don't know what reference that is.
Love that series.
Great stuff.
The Game Boy Kingdom Hearts reference.
Hey, two new people just joined our Discord server while we're live, so that's really awesome. Thank you, Legatus Vaith and Villy for joining. I'm not sure who Villy is.
From one half of Manili.
I can't be mad. I can't be mad at that. That's good. All right, you win. Marco, plugs.
You can follow me at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Coachella this weekend, so if you're following me, you will see lots of music. And part of my newsletter will also be covering, I think most of it actually, we'll be covering just like stuff, my opinion of it, because going to be one of the first like larger music fests I've been to. So just curious to like put my thoughts out on it.
Awesome.
You guys can stream Coachella on YouTube. They pretty much stream everything in really high quality.
Yeah, the stages.
I saw Kim Petras, Becky G, and Danny Elfman last year. Very good quality on YouTube.
Danny Elfman?
One of the best sets I've ever seen. Insane. He did Oingo Boingo and live scores shirtless. It was
fuck yeah,
dude. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like he would he would go into like the Spider-Man theme and then straight into an Oingo Boingo song, and then he would sing Nightmare Before Christmas. It was wild. Yeah.
Yo, I might look that up. Damn.
Yeah. It's like a good half-hour set, like too. So, yeah,
good stuff.
Tyler, what are you plugging?
I got nothing. The Tyler Rolls on Instagram and Twitter. Come hang out. Come talk.
Fair enough. I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Hit me up to chat about wrestling, which has been very interesting. These are the days that I wish I had a podcast called The Wrestling Pals as well. So hit me up to talk about that or video games or whatever your bag is. Thank you so much for making this your bag as well. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. Until then, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.